It was a freezing night in Chicago. Rachel Harper had just returned from a long shift at the law firm, her bones aching and her soul weary. The apartment was cold, her microwave broken, and she had no energy to cook. "Pizza it is," she mumbled, curling up on the couch and ordering online. 30 minutes later, the buzzer rang. When she opened the door, she was greeted not just by the scent of warm cheese and garlic, but by the kindest brown eyes she'd ever seen. "Large pepperoni?" the boy asked with a grin. He looked barely older than 22. Messy black curls peeked out from under his beanie, his jacket wet from snow. "Yeah," she nodded, handing over the cash. He turned to leave, but then paused. "You look like you've had a rough day." Rachel was caught off guard. No one had asked her that all week. She laughed nervously. "You could say that. Well, for what it's worth, I hope the pizza helps." He smiled and jogged back to his car. Rachel sat with the box in her lap, oddly warmed by that small exchange. She didn't know it then, but the pizza boy would come back into her life, and not just with extra cheese. 2 weeks passed. Rachel was walking home after an awful blind date. The man had criticized her career, her outfit, and even the way she laughed. As she crossed a dim street toward her building, a sharp voice called behind her. "Hey, miss, you dropped your wallet." She turned and saw the same pizza boy, holding up her red wallet. "Seriously?" she gasped, checking her purse. "Oh my God, thank you. No problem. I was just dropping off an order." "You okay?" She hesitated. "Honestly? No, but that's not your problem." He shrugged. "Maybe it could be for 5 minutes." They walked together the rest of the way. She found out his name was Daniel Cruz, a part-time student working 2 jobs to support his mother and little sister. They stood outside her apartment laughing in the snow, breathing misty clouds into the night. "You ever want to not be just a pizza boy?" she asked jokingly. He smirked. "Every day. But you gotta play the cards you're dealt." Rachel felt something stir in her, admiration, perhaps. Or maybe it was just how a smile made the world feel a little less lonely. A month later, they became friends, sort of. She'd run into him in the neighborhood often. One day, as she walked home, she spotted a man trailing her. She changed directions, but he followed. Her heart pounded. She ducked into a coffee shop, but he waited outside. Then she saw Daniel across the street, stacking pizza boxes into his trunk. Desperate, she waved him over. "Hey, Rachel," he said loudly, immediately picking up on the situation. He wrapped an arm around her and said loud enough for the stalker to hear, "Ready to go home, babe?" The man outside backed off. "Stay with me for 5 minutes," she whispered. He did, bought her a hot chocolate, made jokes, and walked her safely home. "You're my hero," she said as he left. "No cape," he said, tapping his pizza bag. "Just carbs." Chapter 4. When friendship turns to fire. Spring arrived, and Rachel started inviting Daniel for coffee, then lunch. He made her laugh like no one else. He never tried to impress her. He just listened. One rainy day, they sat on her couch watching an old rom-com. She turned to him during a kiss scene and caught him looking at her with that look. The one you can't fake. She leaned in. So did he. Their kiss was slow, soft, familiar, like coming home. From that moment on, everything changed. They didn't put a label on it. But every time he brought her pizza, he stayed. Every time she had a bad day, he was her calm. One night, he whispered, "I think I'm falling for you." She whispered back, "I think I already did." But love isn't simple. Rachel's ex, Mark, returned from New York and offered her a job at a prestigious firm in LA. He also wanted to rekindle their relationship. Daniel overheard part of their conversation on the street. Misunderstanding everything, he pulled away from her, stopped returning her calls. When she confronted him, he said, "You belong in a world I can't be part of, Rachel. I'm just a pizza boy." "Don't you dare say that," she snapped. "You're the only man who's ever made me feel seen. I can't compete with your world," he said quietly. She left heartbroken. 3 weeks passed. She accepted the job but hadn't left yet. One rainy night, her phone rang. It was Daniel's sister. "Rachel, please. Daniel was in an accident. He was on his bike, delivering pizza. He's in the hospital." She dropped everything and rushed to him. When he opened his eyes and saw her, he whispered, "You came?" She took his hand. "Of course I did. I love you." He blinked away tears. "Even if I can't give you a penthouse or diamonds?" She kissed his forehead. "You gave me something better. You gave me love without conditions." Daniel recovered slowly. Rachel stayed by his side every day. When he could walk again, she told him she turned down the LA job. "I want to build something real with you." Daniel opened a small pizza truck with her help. Superman Slices, they called it. Months later, as they served slices together in a Chicago park, he pulled a small ring from his jacket. "I may not have much, Rachel, but what I have is yours." She said yes through tears. Because sometimes love doesn't arrive in a suit. It comes with a pizza bag and a heart full of courage. And for Rachel, that pizza boy was, and always would be, her Superman.